All right. So this one popped up in my feed, and it might have to pull the notes up. This was teased by the Flash Thompson phony Instagram account, which is only run. And the account is a post of a story shot from the Daily Bugle's front page of their website. The outlet suggests that Spider-Man has gone missing. So hang on a second. Let's just get down to it. Can you see the screen, guys? There is Spider-Man. Yes. So this looks like it's a tease, and there's rumors that Spider-Man isn't in the proper universe, and he needs to get back to his proper universe. And this might be the case, that he's gone walkies along with, I don't know, whatever going on with Stephen Strange and whatever's going on with WandaVision. It's interesting. It's more than we got from the bloody Eternals, which I don't even think exists at this point in time. It's probably going to be crap. So yeah, what do you think about the idea that Spider-Man has gone missing? Is it genuinely missing? Well, he's in hiding. What's going on?
That's interesting, because I saw this week it popped up 3 times from 3 different sources. So taking it with a pinch of salt. But the rumor is, because the what's her face who played Kate Olsen, who plays Wanda, has hinted at a very big sort of Luke Skywalker style Marvel term up, but they're hinting that Spider-Man, but not the Spider-Man we're expecting. And based upon the ending of this episode, which we'll get into in the reviews, the rumor is it's Tobey Maguire turning up. Now, I wonder if this is all connected.
That could be interesting. If it is connected, that she might have kind of pulled him out of his lovely kind of home setting and popped him into Wanda's vision, shall we say. I heard that it's going to be one of the X-Men, and it's going to be I think it was James McAvoy was the highest on the list for who it could be. Because at the moment they're in the 80s, so they're picking the 80s X-Men, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because by the time they finish, they'll be in the 2000s, which will be the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield
Spider-Man. It's interesting. I've heard lots of rumors about Spider-Man 3. I've heard that it's going to be the bad guy's going to be what's his face from the game. What's his face? Or what was his name? The bad guy. The
bad guy from the game.
The bad guy from there was loads of bad guys. The Asian guy, the one that worked with
Mandarin.
Yes, in Spider-Man game, and it wasn't the Mandarin. What was his name? He's
Mr. Negative.
Yes, that's going to be the main bad guy in Spider-Man 3. But at least that's the rumor.
I heard it's someone else. I heard dimensional. I think it's what they refer to as the Beyonder, who's a character kind of exists outside the multiverse and kind of looks in.
Do you think the multiverse is going to come to play with Spider-Man as well? Because Spider-Man does mess with the multiverse.
We'll be up to our elbows in multiverses. This will have. We've already had a pig version of Peter Porker. I'm sure we'll have some mad stuff like that. It's it's interesting. I don't know what to think about it. I'll be honest with you. This is the most exciting Marvel news outside WandaVision that I've come across, and it's good. So I'm curious. Nige, do you have any feelings about this, or are you just like kind of just give me the bloody film? Just look on your faces. Give me the bloody film. I don't give monkeys. Give me the film.
Yeah, just give me the film. I do like the marketing they're doing here, though. That's quite good. I've got a feeling, where is Spider-Man? Well, I reckon he's in the Wonderverse at the moment. He's been sucked in, and that's why he's missing from Manhattan or whatever. I reckon he is there somewhere, and he doesn't fucking know it. And we just haven't seen him yet. I reckon.
Tom, you could be right. It could be Tom Holland's Spider-Man turns up in WandaVision, but there's been persistent rumors about Maguire, Donny again. People theorized it might be for Spider-Man, but it could be for WandaVision.
I think you're going to get the Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3. The rumors are going to go all balls to the wall with Spider-Man 3. It's going to be huge because they got Alfred Molina's coming back, got Jamie Foxx coming back. You've got who's the Green Goblin? William Dafoe. He's coming back. I don't know why they put a bloody mask over him. He could have painted his face green and looked like the fucking.
Oh God, yeah. Defoe has a goblin face, and his face is so animatic. But no, his face is
great face.
He's got a great face for that role, and they covered it. And the thing that bugs me about Spider-Man 1 is it's just too. It looks like a Power Rangers movie, and I've said this since day one. I've never done.
It looks awful when you can see his mouth under the mask talking, because there are a few scenes where you can see him talking under the mask, and it's fine because of the lip sync matches up with everything he's saying. Otherwise, yeah, you're right. It does come across as a bit Power Ranger-esque, and that's probably why Doc Ock worked better.
I'm not a fan of Spider-Man 1. I'm a fan of Spider-Man 2, but I really get why guys are bothered about the not making his own web shooters. When he does that in the other Spider-Man movies, it makes much more sense. But Spider-Man 2 has one of the best comic book bad guys performances ever. I think Alfred Molina as Doc Ock is he nails that part.
Yeah, he does. He nails that part. I think it's really good. Apart from the fact they decided to do the experiment with a giant fusion reaction in the middle of New York, not in the middle of the desert, where it can go if things go wrong in the middle of New York. That guy can't. He's not quite a forward thinker. Then that's probably why Spider-Man beats him.
Have you ever tried to move from where you're building it to somewhere else? They just couldn't be bothered to put the expense in, so they just did it wherever they built it.
There's
damn the consequence.
There's another universe story of Doc Ock, and it's got Doc Ock, and someone just says to him, it says, "Why don't you build it out in the desert?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I didn't. You know what? I was so obsessed with getting the thing working, I forgot about that." So he moves it into the desert. Nothing happens. Everything's fine. Doc Ock never exists as a bad guy. All right, Nige, if you kind of go through the comments before we move on to our next story.
Yeah, sure.
Catch up with all the people popping in and saying hello and whatnot.
A quick hello here to Chuck. Hello, Chuck. Hello, Bapster. This is in relation to Keith's soundboard. And
go on, press it.
So is this everything in moderation, Keith?
Go on, press it. No, you want to. Okay.
Yes, everything in moderation. He's not missing. He's in that other film from the trailer last week.
Oh yes, Chaos Walking, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Yes.
We didn't know that was part of the Spider-Verse, but it is.
What?
That's gonna be the twist. Yeah. So also he thinks Spider-Man multiverse, all 3 Spider-Man actors plus a few new ones. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, they're throwing a gay one.
Spider-Pork.
If they had Spider-Man Noir in it and the guy from the Spider-Man 2099 or whatever it is, that would be quite cool.
Yeah, that would be actually. Joking
Mr. Negative? Or is it DFI?
Yes, it is Mr. Negative. It is, yeah, because that's who's in the game. That's one of the main bad guys in the game. Which,
in the first game, yeah.
Yeah, I just completed it and I bought all the DLC and I've done half the DLC already. This is my reaction to. I can't play Miles Morales. I won't play Miles Morales until I've got PS5. So I am enjoying the shit out of the original game. And actually, I have to say, this £300 TV you and I have got, it does a bloody good job with the PS4. I'm shocked how good it looks.
Yeah. Oh, seriously, it does. It does a really good job. Does a good job with 1080p Blu-ray stuff.
It popped. I didn't do the scan for it, so for the last few days I was playing it. It didn't look that good. Then it suddenly went, "Oh, you've got a PS4 connected. Game mode engaged." And then it just suddenly went, "Oh shit, this looks really good now." And yeah, I'm really enjoying the DLC because I've never played the DLC. And by the way, I completed this in super hard mode, right? And you going on how amazing you were. And look, I did it in super hard mode. When you fight Doc Ock at the end, he's easier. I didn't die once. I pissed through that Doc Ock thing at the end. Not once, because I had all the gadgets, all upgrades, just shut up.
Before we move on, I will check for your platinum later. All right. So if you've done it, you'll have your little trophy saying complete on hard and whatnot. All right. Let's swiftly move on. Enjoying the podcast so far? Why don't you give us a like on YouTube? Thanks. Righty dokey, matey blokey. The Rona hits again, and it's the South African version of the Rona, and it's hit poor Fantastic Beasts 3 filming. They've had to shut down after they got the South African strain of the coronavirus, which talks in a weird accent. And it's weird because the Fantastic Beasts, how can I put it? It's got controversy around it before it even has a coronavirus shutdown. They think, well, given the fact that it's shut down, it's someone who interacts with lots of people, so it's probably one of the main stars of it. So it would be ironic if it was Mad Mikkelsen, considering they brought him in to replace Johnny Depp, and he's the one who gives them all the coronavirus. Nothing against Mad Mikkelsen. I think he's fantastic. He comes across as a nice guy, but that would be quite funny. So yeah, it's weird because they can't, because they need whoever it is for principal photography. So it's got to be the director or cinematographer or the stars, because everyone else can be swapped out. But then again, the director could be probably swapped out, so it's probably one of the stars. So who do you think's got it?
It would be funny if it's Mad Mikkelsen. It would be funny.
My humour tells me Mad Mikkelsen, because it's like kind of, not only did you make a wrong decision by firing Donnie Depp, the guy you got to replace him gave everyone coronavirus. So yes,
it'd be a shame if it's Eddie Redmayne.
Oh god, yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind him as an actor. He's all right.
It's probably not his fault, but I was annoyed that he won that Oscar over what's his face's performance, Cumberbatch, that year, because that same year Eddie Redmayne appeared in Jupiter Rising, and it was the worst performance I have ever seen ever. I mean, it's so bad it goes around to become exquisite acting. It's that hammy. You remember his part in Jupiter Rising?
I didn't watch that film.
So bad. You never seen it?
I never saw it because you said it was so bad. I was like, kind of.
It is bad. It is bad, but you got to see it. But it's got really bad performances in it. It's worth watching just for the fun of it if you've got nothing else to watch. But Eddie Redmayne in it is terrible, and I mean he is terrible. It's so bad.
Well, maybe it's Eddie Redmayne then who's got it.
But I do like him in Fantastic Beasts. I admit that. I do like him in Fantastic Beasts.
I have no idea what they're going to do in this film, because I kind of bollocksed up the second film. The first film was a good film, but someone needs to sit on fucking J.K. Rowling's shoulder and just talk. No, bad J.K. Tell a story. 3 acts.
It's the same as the 5th book of Harry Potter that nobody edited her. Like, you could edit a third of that book out and it'd still get to the same point.
What's number 5? I can't remember. Is that
the Order of the Phoenix?
Prince?
No,
Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix. Not Order of the Chinese takeaway.
The Order of the Phoenix. It's the longest book. And it's ridiculously long.
Well, you say that book 7 was split into 2, wasn't it?
No, the film was.
Yeah, but
the film was.
The film was split into 2, but the book isn't the longest. Not by a country mile. The 5th one is fucking thick. Although, was I with you when I got banned from? I can't remember which one of the Harry Potter books where I got barred from that fucking bookshop in Kingston because I was peeved.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I wasn't with you.
All I can remember is I think it may have been Order of the Phoenix. When it came out, they had a midnight launch, and they did
for everyone.
But for the Order of the Phoenix, they had midnight launch. I was pissed as a fart, and trying to get a taxi home. I wandered into this bookshop, not questioning why it was open. All right, not questioning. I just thought, I can hang around here, and wait for my taxi to arrive. So I wandered into this thing, and I was looking for H.G. Wells' The Sleeper Awakes. All right, I was looking for that, and I couldn't find it, and I was in classic books, and you could tell I was pissed because I had to search it 5 times. I went to the till, goes, "Do you have a copy of The Sleeper Awake?" So it's like kind of no, and they were looking at me, and then I saw a load of nerds outside waiting for the Harry Potter book, and because I blundered in, and there was a queue outside. I was pissed, and I didn't care.
I think it was the 6th book. It was Half-Blood Prince. And do you remember the gazebo in Kingston? For those of you, it was one of these bars that served weird alcohol. Like, you know, it's like the Lidls of alcohol. You know how you get like really dodgy vodka in Lidls and really dodgy thing. Well, the gazebo was a bit like that in the fact they sort of. So anyway, they had this beer called Diat Pills, and we nicknamed it "Fuck You Up" because it wouldn't get you drunk from the head; it'd get you drunk from the legs up. So your legs would start off drunk before you. So if you had a couple of pints of this stuff and tried to stand, you're fucked because your legs would just go. Right. So I had 4 pints of Diat Pills, right? And then we were going on to the Works, or was it Volts back then? I can't go. No, that would be showing.
It was the Works. It was the Works. It was Volts before we could go there.
No, it wasn't. It was Volts on my 18th birthday. I know that much.
Sure
yeah, it was. But anyway, I've walked past the bookshop and I've gone, "Oh no, am I a fucking Harry Potter book?" Like that. And I've walked up and they had a bouncer on the door. He goes, "You're not coming in." So why are you not coming in? He goes, "You're drunk." I said, "Oh, I'm not fucking drunk." Like that. He goes, "You're barred," like that. I go, "I'm barred from a fucking bookshop." Like that. He's like, "You're barred." I'm barred from a bookshop.
Well, Keith, it doesn't matter. You only read the Game of Thrones books, and he only releases one every 25 years. So you're all right.
Okay, all
God,
right.
Don't even get me started on those books. Don't get me started, Nice. That's the same thing as saying PS5 to me at the moment, or Xbox battery controllers.
Anyway,
I've muted him.
Is this one? It's like kind of Keith tells a story about how he got drunk and something went wrong.
Well.
Which is well deserved. Anyway, let's move on to our next one. Watching the content so far? Why don't you leave a comment and join in with us? Okay. So, Batman actor didn't recognise Colin Farrell in his penguin makeup on set. So, the Batman is still filming in the UK. Naturally, they want to film it in somewhere that they would, because Gotham's a shithole. Yeah, so naturally they're filming in Glasgow. No. Hang on a second. I've told many times about the time I flew into Glasgow, and the pilot on the plane even described it as a shithole, very subtly. Yeah, I'm flying into Glasgow, and I hear the captain goes, "If you look over the right side of the wing, you can see the sunlight coming up over Glasgow Harbour. Some might call it a view." That's what he said. Those were his direct words. I will never forget that because I heard it and went, "Huh."
The centre of Glasgow these days is pretty nice. They've got lots of TARDISes all over the place as well for some random reason.
Portaloos, mate.
I don't know. I've been to Edinburgh. Edinburgh's all right.
So Edinburgh,
yeah, you can't get a deep fried Mars bar in Edinburgh. Get one in Glasgow.
But coming back to Batman, you know the actor Rupert Penry Jones. He was in Spooks. He replaced Holm. Yeah. He admits that he didn't realise who Colin Farrell was when he had his prosthetics on. And I think that's Colin Farrell.
Jesus.
Doesn't look like him, does it?
No, it almost looks like a younger Alfred Molina, actually.
Yeah,
certainly the eyes.
Alfred Molina. But yeah, that's what he looks like. That's but I think he's going to do a really good job of the Penguin if he's committed to putting on that much makeup to make him look good. I think it's going to work as the Penguin if he's going to sit there in prosthetics for 4 hours before he gets anywhere near a camera. That shows a bit of dedication there. But yeah, it's mad. It's like kind of like, there you go. Look, there's a comparison shot. Suave, sophisticated, fat, overweight, and balding. Actually, saying that, given the lockdown, he actually might genuinely look like that, and that might not be makeup.
This is what lockdown's done to him. You think you've had it bad in lockdown? Look at me. I got a part as a Penguin in Batman. I've got no makeup on.
I think that's probably one of the most positive things to come out of that film so far. We had the trailer where they showed off Batman fighting, which was all right. But I kind of have a more positive feeling now I've seen Colin Farrell as the Penguin. If he's got a limp and a laugh, then I think a limp and a cackle, or whatever you want to call it, I think we're in for a good one.
I'm intrigued by the Riddler. I am intrigued by the Riddler in this. I want to see how they do it. There's a way I think you can do it modern in a modern world and get away with it. But I'd be interested to see how they do it. That's the thing that's got me. It's piqued my interest slightly. I still look, having seen Tenet, I think what's his face was really good in Tenet. He was really good in that part. I just don't know if he can pull off Batman. That's my concern.
Where's the trigger?
I'm Batman.
That's one you need on the
Batman. I'm gonna kill you.
We need
what? What was it?
And Batman. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next one, which isn't as nice as that. Watching the content so far? Why don't you leave a comment and join in with us? All right, so sad news. Actually, I don't think it's a sad news. He made it to 91. I'd be grateful to make it to 91. I don't think I'm going to make it to 42 if the lockdowns carry on. But legendary actor Christopher Plummer has passed away at the age of 91. For 7 decades, he has worked as an actor on stage and on the screen, bringing dozens of characters to life for fans worldwide. Plummer became a household name in his performance as Captain Gregor von Trapp in the 1965 Sound of Music. But his legacy has impacted the entertainment world and goes far beyond that single film. I remember Christopher Plummer. I remember Christopher Plummer in Undiscovered Country. General Chang
delivered one of the greatest lines in sci-fi ever. No one has experienced Shakespeare until you've heard it in its original Klingon.
Yeah,
fantastic line.
That was a good one. He was also in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He voiced I have no idea how to say this, Arnagir in Elder Scrolls 5. Who's in the Imaginarium, Dr. Parnassus, Alexander Aristotle, National Treasure. I can't remember if he was Nicolas Cage's dad in that.
He was.
Undiscovered Country, Waterloo, which is one of my dad's favourite films, and Sound Music.
He was Nicolas Cage's grandfather. He was the grandfather at the beginning. His recent movie, he played. He replaced Kevin Spacey when they reshot that film, and he played the real life rich dude that I can't remember his name.
Rich dude.
There was another TV series about him recently. Really kind of eccentric guy. Anyway, Kevin Spacey shot the film. Then the whole Me Too bullshit came out, and Plummer replaced him, and that was 2-3 years ago. So he was acting until pretty recently. Bless him. I mean, Canadian, which I didn't know. But he did always bring a touch of class. He was one of the old schools. And 91, it's a pretty good age. And apparently it was natural causes, not COVID related or anything like that. So I think 91 is a good innings. Big band and win.
I'd appreciate a good 91 on my clock. But saying that, people in the Star Trek Online game gathered to play tribute to Christopher Plummer, who played General Chang. He also did some bits in the Starfleet Academy game. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. But we've got bits here like we're on Kronos, remembering Christopher Plummer, General Chang. Feel free to join us. There's some nice screenshots, and there's people here tweeting about it. Weird tribute, but a welcome one, shall we say?
He was brilliant in that film, though. He was. I mean, when you talk about Star Trek Undiscovered Country, the first thing that comes to mind is General Chang, because that performance, I mean, just sitting there, it's in one respect, it's really hammy, but in other, he had any other actor done that, I don't think it could have been taken seriously. But he was sitting there, he was delivering Shakespeare as a Klingon on a Klingon bird of prey, and anything else, it would have been just hammy and stupid. But he somehow made that good.
It's weird because that's kind of become a little bad guy trope, to quote Shakespeare or the Bible. Yeah, and because it's like kind of, I remember watching Farscape when Crichton's trying to get rid of Scorpius, and he quotes Shakespeare to him. He goes, "I hate it when bad guys quote Shakespeare," which is good. What do you know who Christopher Plummer is, Nige?
Not a clue. All I know is he was in Sound of Music, which is one of the films I avoid. My wife loves it.
Yeah. Have you never seen it?
No, I have, and that's why I avoid it.
I've not seen it sober. Does that count?
No, see, it was she really wanted to see it, and so we watched it, and within 20 minutes, I was so bored out of my mind, I couldn't. I just couldn't.
I think it's I think you're like me, and you hate musicals, and you can't understand why all of a sudden we're running from the Nazis. Let's sing a song. This is why I don't like Bollywood films. I would probably like Indian films if they didn't have the singing and dancing crap in it.
The only time I can accept people bursting into song in a film is if it's key to the plot and they're, I don't know, in a band and they're singing.
In a band, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They're doing karaoke and it's part of that. Anything else is not right. It's just not right. Yeah, I cannot. I just about tolerate the Disney films like Lion King and bits like that. You know, I can tolerate that because it's a kiddies thing. But anything else, no. I haven't seen any of the Star Trek films, so no clue what you're talking about.
I need to sit down and get you watch it.
Other than that,
Undiscovered Country, the 2 Star Trek you need to watch. You can get away with missing the others. I'll be honest with you.
I've seen National Treasure, which I do like. I very, very vaguely remember Nicolas Cage having a granddad. I didn't have a clue who it was, and that's about my knowledge of him. I don't. Unfortunately, not.
You know what the funny thing was? Before we started this, I thought he played Ming the Merciless in Flash Gordon, but it's not him.
Yeah. No.
I can't remember the case now.
Even if he hadn't seen it.
Okay. I mean, I think look, I know you don't like musicals. I think Sound of Music's one of the better ones. And actually, the one time he really sings in that film, it's quite powerful. And actually, funny enough, he doesn't just burst into song, he sings on stage. So the song that he sings in the film has a point to it, like you just said, when he's on stage and he sings to the Austrian people just before the Nazis come.
All right. So 91, that's a bloody good innings. So we wish you well and on your way. And we'll move on to our next section. I'm not going to press the button yet. And there's a reason why I'm not going to press the button yet, because all 3 of us like a TV show called Death in Paradise. And Death in Paradise is, how can I put it? It's light entertainment done really well. And it's nothing too deep and it's nice and fun to watch. And at the moment, the lead detective is played by a guy called Ralph Little. Ironically, local boy. And Ralph, well, he used to live locally. Ralph Little is looking like he's going to exit towards the end of the season, which isn't good.
I think it's season 3, possibly. I think I saw something about him doing next year's.
Yeah,
but it might be what he's talking about after that.
I had at the end of this season, but Nigel, this is what I'm going to turn you fucking red, and Keith is going to fucking spaz out this too. Jodie Whittaker to replace Death in Paradise, Ralph Little after Doctor Who exit.
Can I
just say fuck you?
I'm on the plus side. She'll at least have some good writing to flex her acting muscles.
Actually, she might be quite good in this role. I mean, okay, yes, it's the BBC making a traditional male role female again, because the BBC just loves to use that trope again and again and again. But actually, she might be quite good in this role.
I have no issue with replacing a DI Ralph, for example, because they've had male coming over from the UK. There's nothing there saying it has to be a male actor.
No,
you can have just as good a female.
Given our current, if this was 10 years ago and you told me this, I would say, not a problem. Yeah. But given our current situation and currently the way the BBC are behaving, where they're more interested in diversity than quality, it makes me go, oh no.
It's the head of drama though. That's the problem, and they haven't ousted him yet. But having said all of that, look, if Jodie Whittaker goes into Death in Paradise, and just by chance we get Chris Marshall in Doctor Who, I'll be happy.
It's not going to happen, Keith. It's not going to happen.
I know, but I can dream.
We're getting someone in a wheelchair for the next series, Doctor Who, and it's not a man. Just a quick one.
I'll tell you what. If they brought Jo Martin in as the next Doctor, I would watch because she was a better fucking Doctor than Whittaker.
She was a better Doctor than him.
Well, you never know. She's sort of doing a investigatory sort of role with Doctor Who because that's what they do, isn't it? They use their brain to figure stuff out rather than fighty.
She doesn't pull that off. She comes across as thick. She really does. She doesn't.
I don't know.
The expression, I think, I think it was someone from some newspaper, or maybe it was even radio, one of the radio programs that the BBC owned, said that when the other doctors spoke to the companions or to the audience, you felt like it was an adult telling another adult what was going on. She feels like she's an adult telling a child what's going on, and it doesn't come across right. I was going to say, early reports emerged that Jodie Whittaker will be stepping down from Doctor Who after a series. Series returned for the third time in her tenure later this year. Meanwhile, in recent interviews with executive producer Tim Key, revealed he'd like to see a woman detective take the key role in Sam Marie. Bookmakers Ladbrokes have already begun to price up actresses that they think are most likely to join the tropical island, and Jodie's come out top. The Doctor Who star is the forerunner at 6-1, whilst Killing Eve creator Phoebe Waller-Bridge or the LGBT 1000 droid from Solo is behind her at 7-1.
Again, I don't like her politics and I don't like what she says a lot, but actually Phoebe Waller-Bridge could again work in this because bearing in mind this is a light entertainment thing and she could work in this. She could. Before Jodie Whittaker took on Doctor Who, I quite liked Jodie Whittaker. I thought she was pretty good, and Bailin here said she was great in Attack the Block. I love Attack the Block. It's one of my favorite
she was
British films. It was a bloody good film, and she was good in that. And she was fantastic. Her first film where she appeared with oh god, I'm terrible with names. British actor gets pissed a lot. God, he
Oliver
was in
Reed?
No, the other one.
Fucking hell, I don't know.
Got
Richard
pissed
Harris?
No, his mate. Oh,
Richard Harris's mate. Anyway, my God.
Yeah, but it was in a film with him
and
Leslie Phillips.
Hang on, stop for a second, Keith. Yeah, I'd just like to point out that while your brain collapsed, StreamYard had a problem streaming you.
She was in a film with Leslie Phillips and Peter O'Toole, and that was a brilliant film. Venus, it was called. That was a really good film. Okay. But she's terrible in Doctor Who. But I still maintain that Nigel could be right on here. The worst thing about Doctor Who is not Jodie Whittaker. It is not. It's Christina Ball and his crappy fucking politics, and it just goes to show how bad the Christmas special was.
Right.
I don't think
you're going to go for the Doctor Who rant. The long and the short of it is, one, I want Ralph Little to stay for another year, so he's done 3 years. Yeah, because I quite
think
like
he
him.
will.
I don't think he will because I think he's being set up to be killed off. Do you know why? Because this week's episode, it was like kind of, oh, you're into Florence, aren't you? Because no, I'm not. Yeah, and it's like kind of they'll get together and then.
But it was good seeing Camille. It was good seeing Camille back and Ben. What's his face? That was a lovely scene. That was a great scene. The flashback. You've not seen this the second episode of where what's his face comes back and Camille comes back.
No, it airs Wednesday.
No, it was the day after, mate.
It was the day after.
It was the day after.
No one told me. It's because I barely watched the BBC. That's why.
No, I've got it series linked.
I'm going to watch it after. No, it's fine. I'm going to watch it after.
We watched it on Series Link, and it immediately went, "Oh, got another one tonight for you to watch." It's like, "Oh."
But the scene where he comes back with Camille was just lovely.
Yeah,
lovely.
Don't say anything more because you've not seen it.
Don't ruin it, Keith. Keep your big mouth shut.
This double episode that they did, it's very well made. 2-part episode. It's very, very, very well made. Now, I don't think the commissioner has ever heard of promoting from within, because surely one of them is good enough to be promoted into the DI role. I know the whole series is around having someone come over from the UK solving murders, but could somebody come over who's a sergeant?
I think it's the fact that there's not enough kind of experience there, and there's not enough for them to deal with. He wants someone who can deal with the foreigners, basically. He wants a foreign face to deal with the foreign people.
That's what I mean.
Because he's a political thinker in the way he does his stuff.
Anyway, have Camille promoted. Have the UK bloke coming in just under Camille, and I'm on board with that.
Anyway,
oh my
gosh. Anyway, on the Death in Paradise podcast featuring myself, Nigel, and Keith, and missing an episode.
Sorry, there is an alternative.
Okay, right.
It's called the Mallorca Files.
Right, no, right. He's on mute. I'm putting him on mute. He's time out. Right, I'll take him off mute. It's only a joke. Right, so let's have a look at some of the comments that we got. Nigel, if you'd be kind enough to get us through that, so I can get ready for the next section.
Yep. And we're going back. Welcome, the Bailey.
The massive gains Yoda, I'm going to call him, and Nigel's derp-faced.
Oh no! So welcome, Balin the Hobbit. Nigel has gone, so hey, I'll take over. Babster says musicals. You can't beat Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I totally agree. It was one of my favourite musicals as a kid. Loved that. And Mary Poppins. Yeah, again, loved those.
Just like pointing out, Mary Poppins is a Time Lord.
Mary Poppins is a Time Lord.
Mary Poppins is a Time Lord.
Yes, Mary Poppins is a Time Lord. What happened there, Nige?
For some reason, my computer decided it wanted to close every window on my computer.
Don't worry about it.
Congratulations.
So did you go through everyone?
We got through half the comments, I think.
And my favourite musical is Music Man. Yep, that's another good musical. And the original Charlie and Chocolate Factory. Yes. Although there is still that freaky scene in the middle that I still never understand on the boat, just as a kid, freaked the shit out of me. But it is a great musical. Although the remake is interesting. But anyway, move on, Gareth. Move on.
Let's move on. Let's get to our game. Google. Why is it you kill so many projects so bloody quickly and don't invest time into making them work? Because Google is shutting down the internal Stadia studios that were offering their streaming tech to publishers. And I can tell you the answer from publishers: they don't want your streaming tech, mate. I think I put it in the notes where it's like, I don't think they want the streaming tech. Just 14 months after Stadia's high-profile launch, Google is embarking on a major rethink of the streaming service strategy, in which it sees closing down all its internal game development and begin to provide its tech to third-party publishers. Now, I find this really off-putting. I have one Stadia game. No, I have two Stadia games. That's a lie. I have two Stadia games that I got for free because I tried it for free at the beginning. I went away, and then they offered me money to come back. I came back, and then I went away again. So I have Tomb Raider and Doom 64, which cost me a princely sum of £0, 0 pence. So they're killing this thing off. I think I don't know who wants their bloody technology. I don't know why they didn't invest in their bloody technology. What they should have done is they should have given us the features that they promised at the beginning, which was that you could stream it straight to YouTube with no latency, have saved games. So if you were playing a level and you got stuck on something, you could pass someone the saved game. They could open it up and play it. That sort of thing in there. And even people on the streaming say, hey, you want to play along with me? Great. Here's the file. Play streams Google Stadia here and watch me on YouTube over there. They promised all these features, provided nothing. Yeah. Which is really annoying. They provided nothing. They admittedly have a better version of Cyberpunk than you can get on consoles. I'm not sure about PC because it depends on the spec of your PC, but definitely better than what you can get on consoles. It's Microsoft have got the xCloud. Sony have got their Play Now thing, which needs updating. I have no idea what tech they could sell to people. Apparently, these internal studios were run extremely poorly, like clueless kind of people. You get those people in management who somehow you go, why have they got this job? So yeah, it's Google joins the Google graveyard of failed projects along with Google Glasses and streaming from Hangouts, which I miss. So guys, I need to know your thoughts on this.
Well, you didn't think Stadia was that good, did you?
No, the features that they offered initially looked fantastic. When they gave that original presentation and they showed this is what Stadia can give you, I thought I'll have some of that. And then it came out and it hasn't got this, it hasn't got this, it hasn't got this. You need a special thing for that. This, that, and the other. The only thing they kind of came up with that was any good was a controller with the latency. Amazon are now doing a similar thing where they've got a controller with latency. I can't remember what the Amazon streaming service is called. Even though Amazon Game Studios is a complete fucking mess, it sounds less of a mess than Google Stadia. It's a shame because it was a good idea, and I think we will probably gradually get there in the end. But at the moment, we've just been set right back. But hey, I do like physical media, even digital downloads.
Well, I couldn't get on board with the Stadia thing to start with. You need essentially a fantastic internet connection in order to use it, which not everyone's got. Even in this day and age, internet connection is spotty, and sometimes it depends where you are. In the UK, for example, you can't get fiber, even to the cabinet. You can't get fiber. It's on the cable line, and you get very, very slow speeds. And so Stadia is just not for these. It's not good. Let's say
the bandwidth that it chews through. It chews through like 10 gigs an hour if you got a full 4K.
Yeah, there's a lot of ISPs out there who have not embraced the unlimited download, and there is a cap on how much you can have. I mean, you play for 1 hour, that's your month's worth gone. So I don't think as a business idea that's a very good idea. I do like the fact that the idea was to provide your save file to somebody else who then goes, oh, I know how to beat that, and I'll do it for you, save it for you. Great. Let's say also, if you were playing, let's say Football Manager, for example, a lot of people like to provide their save game to somebody in order for them to save their save, so that they can.
It's not great for streaming on Twitch.
It's not, but that's a use for it. They could have made it integrated, couldn't they, with YouTube streaming, and that would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But they haven't.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
No, I never get on board with it. I didn't think it was a good idea to start with. I didn't think it was a starter for me anyway. Probably there's people out there who think it's a good idea and could use it, but like yourself, you thought it might be good for you, but turned out no.
Turned out to be a pile of shite. But I do know one thing. I do know that Microsoft have their Xbox Cloud client for Windows 10. I know this because I have a preview version of it on my Mac, on my Windows side. It streams from console to TV really well. But because I'm not part of the program and I've only cheekily taken the app, I'm using my developer's account from work. I can see that they've got the xCloud stuff all set up, ready to use. So you'll be able to do this on your desktop, and I think they've got the Android app sorted too, which looks good. And given that I've used it, it works really well. The latency from console to TV is great. I need to see if I can somehow push my way into the program to test the desktop version of it. Because if I can get the desktop version of it, Nigel, you'll want the desktop version of it too. Because when you go back to work, it'll be like lunchtime. Okay, because it'll save your game from where you were playing it on the Games Pass. You'll be able to pull it out and go, I'm going to half hour ago on it quick when I was looking, or even if you're playing with the keyboard and mouse. It looks that looks fantastic, and I can't wait for that to come out. So it's interesting. But just bye Google Stadia. I think Microsoft xCloud thing's going to be hitting PC. I think the estimate on the tool that I'm using says it's July. For when they have to put all their bits in for it. So maybe July this year we'll get the Windows client for streaming, and hopefully we'll get a Mac client. And apparently they've talked to Apple about getting it on the iOS, which is a good sign too. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll be able to move into kind of more exciting times. Anyway, let's go on to our next story.
You're listening to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast.
I still haven't sorted out the volume on that one. Ow.
I do like that. That's a nice little bump.
It is a nice little bump. Apart from the volume, just 3 notches too loud. All right, so all over the internet, Mass Effect, which was rumored to have a remaster, it is coming out, and it's coming out this month, I think. It looks quite good. There's some bits in there. They call it the Legendary Edition. Includes 4K support, HDR compatibility, 60 frames a second on both PC and console. And it's weird because it says it's coming out on the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X Series. I can't see a PS5 on there, which I'm a little worried about. I'll have to go and check the thing. It must be in there.
PS4 Pro, so it won't be out on the standard PS4.
See, the thing is that if you transfer a PS4 Pro game to the PS5, its performance is great. The translation from PS4 Pro to 5 sometimes outshines the Xbox upscaling in certain places, which is driving Microsoft bloody nuts. And they put all that money to make sure they have the most powerful console, put out the PS5 because it's only a small gap, and it's the engine, we say, is a little better tuned on the PS5. Is there, but it's nothing that Microsoft can't figure out. It is interesting. They've done a drastic overhaul to the first Mass Effect game. That's where most of the changes are coming. Because I think what they've done is they've gone all the way to Mass Effect 3 and said, right, that's the control scheme we're using, and then we're going to flash it back through 1, 2, and 3 to make sure it works. Some of the pictures I've seen from it, they look good, but the problem is you have like a Capcom remaster is more of a remake, and they're fantastic games, like the Resident Evil 2 ones. I even like Resident Evil 3, even though it was short. They're fantastic, and that's the kind of thing I was really hoping for. It's like a redo over in the engine, lots of tidied up things, the assets and voice work and that all done up. There's some screenshots and stuff from it. Well, you clicked off earlier than I should have. But here you go. Got the original Mass Effect here. There you go. So that's what the original Mass Effect looked like. On the 360. And then we go back. Previous. That's what the new one looks like. Poly count doesn't look very high, but everything looks cleaner and more detailed in way. So it's that's a little worrying. I think I find it a little worrying. So we've got some other bits here. Where's the videos? Oh, here we go. No, it's on my other notes. So yeah, I like Mass Effect. There are no games out at the moment, so it's probably gonna be great on the PS5, Nigel. And I feel sorry for those people who don't have PS5s when it comes to this and not being able to enjoy it at a full 40K, 60 frames a second, where we can really enjoy what's going on. Don't you think, Nigel? Right, hang on a second. So
Yeah.
On the website they've got.
That, I was just looking on this website to see if I can find. Use the slider there. You can see the.
Look.
That's the old one.
This is what it used to look like, and you
No,
can see.
That's the old one.
No, this is the new one. Yeah, because the interface. Look at the interface here. This is Mass Effect 1. Yeah, and the interface has changed because that is Mass Effect 1. You've even got the old back button there thingy. Yeah, and you can see the poly count, not fantastic on there.
Yeah.
And there's a bit more detail on here.
Right.
But we can't have nice things in the world, in the current world, shall we say, which is annoying because there's been some controversy over an arse. Yes, someone's arse has caused the internet communities to flare up like they're having piles. In Mass Effect 2, there was a character called Miranda. And Miranda was, I can't remember the actress' name, but Miranda was modeled on an actress who also did the voice for it, yeah? The actress is gorgeous, and the character model was also gorgeous. She was supposed to be a perfectly genetically created human. And the problem is that when they were going through the remaster, they were looking at some of the shots for the cinematics, and they were like, that seems to be focused a bit too much on Miranda's ass. And it was like, it was supposed to be a little bit of pandering to the male audience because they're the ones who buy games, despite what you think and what your friends tell you. That was the reason that they had it in there. It was no massive controversy. And then the other controversy too was that Femme Shepherd's motion capture was based on male Shepherd's motion capture. So there would be bits where old Shepherd, John, we'll call him John, John Shepherd's like sitting on a bench with his legs spread wide apart because he's got massive balls to save the universe, and then when you cut to the female version, she's sitting there like she's got imaginary massive balls. And I think, to be honest with you, I think they should keep the thing with her legs spread open like she's got a massive set of balls because apparently she's trying to save the universe. There's more to this story, but I didn't have time to go through it with anything. I'm getting it. I'm probably going to pay full bloody price, which I'm going to regret. It's just because I haven't got any kind of games to really get my teeth sunk into, and I've been thinking about Mass Effect recently. And yeah, funnily enough, they didn't think about redoing the end for 3. So yeah, that's a strange one. Anyway,
did they redo it anyway? Originally,
they had
redone it, but it wasn't like they were going to redo it again. Because my problem was that I was expecting a suicide mission on your way up to the Crucible, where the decisions that you made in game would affect the players and whether they survived towards the end. Yeah. And then if you made the wrong decision, they would die. That's what I was expecting. That was the bit that most disappointing. I didn't give a shit about the blue thing. It was like kind of those decisions. They made things to be so important that you got top loyalty and then you picked the right person at the right time was missing. Because if it would have been the case that they're working their way up to the Reaper and then you had to make those decisions and then it was harder for you to get to the Reaper if you made the wrong decisions, was probably more important than the red blue. Because the moment I said this 1,000 times, the moment I heard the fact that they were building a thing called the Crucible, I was like, shit, this isn't going to end in an all-out fight. This is going to end up in a conversation, because I've already watched that in another previous TV show called Babylon 5, and that's how they beat their bad guys, because it was like kind of, there's no fucking way we're going to beat them with military might, so we're going to have to truth our way out of it, shall we say. But yeah, so given, how do you feel about Miranda's ass, Keith?
I never seen Miranda's ass, so I don't remember, but I'm sure
You've never seen Miranda's ass? Oh my god.
That's surprising.
When I saw them announce this, I was tempted to get it. But if it doesn't run on my poor PS4, Gareth, sort me out. Come on, sort me out. You've got the latest stock updates. Sort me out a PS5.
Oh my God,
I'm begging you. I'll be on my fucking knees.
Do yourself a favor. Do not Google Miranda's ass. I'm so glad I'm not sharing the screen. Oh my god! I thought I had safe. Oh my god!
When the missus walks in, I thought you were doing a podcast. There you are, looking up. Who's that? Miranda's ass. Right. No, Keith. I've just had a little look at not Miranda's ass, but at the EA.
Yeah.
And it's PS4 Pro enhanced. So I think that means PS4 can play it, but it's you get a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
If you play it on the Pro, and there is actually it's listed on the PlayStation Store, and it does say on here. Where is it? Okay, I've lost it. But it does say to play this game on the PS5, your system may need to be updated to the latest software. Although this game is playable on PS5, some features available on the PS4 may not be. It's a standard.
Sorry, I'm just wondering why Keith has drifted off. Please look back at your screen.
Okay.
I love that Roy smile there. Sorry, Nigel. But that's Miranda's ass.
Didn't this serve a plot in the story, because that's Shepard in the background, isn't it?
Yes, it should be Shepard in the background.
So I thought that was meant to be a plot in the story, and like he was lusting after her or something. So it was sort of
no, he always did, because it was like, dude, that's an ass. That's the ass you want.
Yeah. But I'm surprised that they're not making this to play on the PS5, seeing as they're playing. They're doing it on the Xbox One. Well, it says Xbox One here. It doesn't say Xbox X.
Do you know what I find funny is that Miranda's ass, if they were clever, they would sell it back to you as DLC. Pay $10 and get Miranda's ass DLC. That's the kind of thing that you'd expect from EA. And with that, we'll move on to our next story.
Hi, this is Nigel, and I'm talking in my lovely narrator's voice. Bask in its loveliness. But don't bask for too long. We need your help. Come to YouTube and watch our videos for the love of God. Well, send Keith round to your next barbecue and he'll eat all your food. Toasty! You have been warned.
I need to get some more. I need to get more and more of these things whenever we get a chance. Right. Tokyo store attempts to sell PS5 stock ends in chaos and calls the police. They cancelled the sale due to people being insane. Despite the news that we heard that people weren't that interested in the PS5 in Tokyo, they managed to cause a bloody riot. This is hilarious. So to stop scalpers, this store, right, during a pandemic, to stop scalpers in this store, they put in a lottery system. So come up to the store, here's a lottery system, we'll pull out a raffle thing, you come up, you buy your PS5. Yeah, sounds sensible, yeah? Oh dear, they did really underestimate what the hell was going on here. Let me just see if I can zoom in on this before I put it on. So hopefully there should be some footage from it. That's what it fucking looked like during a pandemic, 2 meters apart.
Not wearing a mask properly.
Oh, I hate that. Just winds me up. I don't like wearing a mask, but dude, if you can do it properly. Look at that.
I like the fact that this guy in Japan, he's so, oh my god, he's swearing in English.
Yeah, I think it was a guy. I think it was a guy called Dave Gibson, who's I think he's a probably Yankee Doodle dandy living in the Rising
Sun.
Sun.
Not a very Japanese name, that is it, Dave Gibson?
Dave Gibson, yes. Yeah, the ancient master, Dave Gibson. He invented Les Paul. What's it? Yeah, so they had to call the police out in the end.
This comes back to what I initially said when we first thought that we saw the news article about Japan apparently not wanting the PS5. I said I think it's purely down to stock. Stock isn't available, so they can't buy it, and that's why the numbers are down. As soon as some are available, riot. You know, it's crazy. They want it. I don't think there's stock, and that is why numbers are down. So, this is proof of it.
Yeah, I think that too. I've just I've muted Keith because I can feel the tension in him.
I'm not saying anything.
I can feel it boiling up. Was it 3,000?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
You should,
in that case, we'll mute him. Because although I'll bring it back in the room. There we go. Sorry, Keith. I know the thing is, both Gareth and I both have a PS5, and I had a bit.
Really good.
I got one, and it's beautiful. But I understand wholeheartedly why Keith is a bit frustrated. I was the first time. Gareth managed to get it.
Oh, no.
I didn't. And then the next wave out, I was sitting there, refresh, fucking bot, managed to get it. And so I understand why Keith's a little frustrated at the moment. He might as well just upgrade his PS4 to a PS4 Pro and
no point.
And then just wait for the stock to come in.
Do you know how
There's
to upgrade, Keith? Do you know how to upgrade your PS4 to PS4 Pro really easy?
How? Go and buy one.
Go faster stripes on it.
Get a sticker
on the little stings.
Just get a sticker. It says Pro on it.
I will wait. Gareth's keeping an eye out for stock in the UK, and if he sees one, he's going to grab it for me. But it's annoyed me how they've done this. I know it's partly that they've come out this week and said it's down to the chip shortage, which is a problem.
Yes.
But I still think they should have held back the release. I think both of them should have held back the release. I think they are indirectly fueling the scalping market, and I think that is morally incorrect. I know they're a business, and I know my view is unpopular, but I still hold Sony partly responsible for this mess. I do. I think they certainly didn't do enough to manage the corruption here.
How are they supposed to manage the corruption there, Keith? They're just suppliers. They can't do jack shit unless they're selling direct.
Oh, you can. There's ways you can do it. You can view what's going on. You can monitor what's going on. Look, I know you love Sony, Gareth, and you're not going to hear that.
No, I don't. No, I don't love Sony, but I work for a company, and so I know how for corporations. Sorry. And I know how corporations work, and they have. Yeah, there are things that are inside their control and things that are not. The retailers.
There are things that corporations don't take control of purposefully, because then they don't get.
No, Keith, mate. It's the retailers. And right before we go, I'm going to just leave you with this one thing. Yeah, if you want to get this is your big tip, Keith. All right, if you want to get your PS5, yeah, live in a proper country.
Get them for shit in England either. So don't
I've got one. No, I've got one.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And I've got an X series. I've got an S series, and Knight's got an X series.
Yeah,
the only reason we get an X series is because of the telly. Anyway, so WandaVision. Wow, that was good, wasn't it?
Yes. But I want to say this, and I will say this again, and I will maintain this. They made a mistake with these TV shows. Because yet again, I have no fucking idea what they were parodying this week. And they were parodying something, but it's another obscure American show that was never showed outside of America. And I think this is alienating some audiences. I've seen constant criticism of this. The only TV show that they have done so far that I have recognized is Brady Bunch. Nothing else has ever been shown on syndication outside the US.
I recognised Bewitched.
I Dream of Jeannie.
That's what I meant. Yeah, they didn't really. The Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie was a one episode, and it was more Bewitched than it was Jeannie. But
I didn't recognise the Brady Bunch. To be fair, I've never.
No, I didn't recognise the Brady Bunch. There was enough people to have the Brady Bunch.
I didn't mean the Brady Bunch. I mean, because I kept hearing that they were going to do the Brady Bunch, but they haven't done it. But this week's one, I have no idea what that was. I have no idea what that was.
Keith, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It does. It bugs me.
If you're trying to work out what TV show they're trying to parody,
because it takes me out the show. Gareth, it takes me out the show, and lots of people agree with this. It takes me out the show because I'm like, what the fuck? Because there's loads of videos about it.
The internet.
The internet.
Yes, the internet.
This is how
Gareth, it takes me out of the show. The first 2 episodes were shit. They were shit.
But no, I prefer the idea of having a fucking story, mate. Much more.
There was no story in the first 2 episodes.
No,
there were moments.
In the 4th one we're talking about. Because it's not the show that counts. It's all
but again, I don't know what the hell they were parodying at the beginning, and why do they insist on doing Americana? Why?
Because it's
why does it have to be American?
company? It's Disney. Of course they're going to do Americana. Go to Disney World, walk down Main Street.
But Marvel is international, and actually they make more money on a Marvel Cinematic when you combine all of the takings from the world is more than the American market alone. So why are you focusing purely on the American market?
Because that if you're focusing on that, if you're focusing on that, you've missed the point. Yeah, you're missing the point.
No, Gareth, I've seen the bits. I see the bits. But this annoys me because they are parodying something because I don't recognize what they're parodying.
All right.
And I think that and where there's something going on here where lots of American people will recognize what they're parodying because they've seen those shows. It'll be like them parodying Dad's Army next week. Everybody in England, or hello, everybody in England will get that. But that never went across the pond. Why don't they parody shows that at least were syndicated around the world? Popular American shows like Cheers, anything like that from the 70s. Do something. Right. Yeah,
I think it was supposed to be the Wonder Years.
No, something else. No, Wonder Years we saw, and I remember the theme tune to Wonder Years, and that was. When did we had Wonder Years was on all the time.
Christ Almighty! Everything that happened, and you focus on that bit.
No, I'm not focusing on that bit. We'll get into the other stuff that was really cool, but it bugs me.
Why does it bug you? It's not important.
I was watching that with the kids, and I sat there looking at it going, they're dressed sort of in the 80s sort of clothes. I think this is 80s themed. And the kids went, cool. And we moved on. I wasn't bothered about what they've parodied. I didn't care.
It bugs me. It takes me out of the show. I'm sorry, but it does. It does. It bugs me.
I think
why don't you do
that? She's showing credits and they're watching the credits. And the first 2 episodes, that's sort of great. The credits were the credits of the thing. And then the 3rd episode and 4th episode, they did the credits. And then there's her watching it going, right, making notes. Ooh. Yeah, I quite like that. So
the credits, the end credits, is not thing. It's these shows it's obscure American shows that they keep parodying that bothers me. Because there's no appeal outside
if it bothers you, you fucking missed the point.
No, Gareth, stop criticizing me for something. No, I haven't missed the point because I get the rest of the show. I think the first 2 episodes are pants. I still do. I think the first 2 episodes are bad. I was bored. I was bored throughout the first 2 episodes. The 3rd episode at least had a bit of a hook, and the 4th episode was really good. This episode was great, except the beginning, because it is like, I know that millions of Americans would bitch and moan if they parodied Hello, Hello, because they'd be like, what the fuck is this? And that is what they're doing. They are focusing on a very narrow end of an American market and with no international thing. That's my problem. Moving on, once you got past that, I get it.
You're also focusing on a very narrow thing.
Yes, you are focusing on a very narrow thing.
But I know what you're getting at, but it takes me out of the show. That's my point.
All right.
Okay.
It's like it's like that. They're doing that to the international audience, and that bugs me. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. It was fantastic once we got into it, and there was loads of little Easter eggs and lots of little things like the advert, for instance, the tissue advert, which has shitloads of significance. The fact that it's the same freaking actors throughout every single advert. I notice all this stuff. I'm not stupid, right? But I'm bugged by the beginning. That's all I'm saying. And I do not like the first 2 episodes. I'm sorry, I was bored.
I said that before. We covered that 2 episodes ago.
I feel that the show it's getting good, and I think it's going to change the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Have you spotted Agatha Harkness in it?
Who Agatha?
See, he's not paying fucking attention. Agatha Harkness.
No, because I'm bugged by the beginning.
So you're missing the point. Agatha
Who's
Harkness. Agatha Harkness is a mutant with magical-like abilities. Oh no, not mutant. Just a witch with magical-like abilities that brought up Reed Richards and Sue Richards' kid. I can't remember who it is, and she was bad. And she's the neighbor. the neighbor who seems to be in on it, because maybe she has abilities.
Is she the one who's always coming round with the exact item they need at the exact time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the question is she trapped in there with it, or is she doing the manipulation along with someone else?
Although the whole internet blew up about the Fantastic Four connection, and then apparently the creator came out and said that, no, it's not Fantastic Four. I think that's bullshit. I actually do think they might be shoehorning in the Fantastic Four. I think they're going to do a lot. I think by the end of it, our minds are going to be blown.
All right, just a quick one. Do you know what would really blow my mind at the end of the series? Right, they get to the end of the series, yeah, and they go, "It's a big cameo coming," yeah, and at the end of the series, Chris Evans knocks on the door, yeah, and you're like, "Wow!" But he knocks on the door as the Human Torch from Fantastic Four film. I wouldn't put it past them.
There's talk of him. There's talk of him coming back as Captain America.
Money.
That's been the money and everything in the COVID situation
aren't as secure as they were a year ago, 2 years ago, shall we say?
So, who do you think is going to be the cameo or the person?
I think there's going to be multiple ones. I think this is going to be a backdoor into the X-Men universe. They've already done it, so that's happening. I think we're going to see Magneto, possibly a version, maybe.
Right, if Michael Fassbender turns up at the end, I'll be very, very happy. As Magneto,
did he play?
And he goes, "Oh my god, Dad!" That would be all because he's dead. Because Magneto is Wanda's father.
But you see, but he isn't in this universe.
I know, but they're warping reality.
Yeah, exactly. But who are the two people? Who are the two actors in all the adverts? Because that could be their parents. That could be Wanda's mum and dad. Right? Okay. And why is there no fucking kids in this universe bar the two kids that they brought up? Look, I'm not going to keep going over our ground. I might be bugged by the beginning, but I have noticed lots of shit. And like there, I now that you've said the name of that, you're probably right that the neighbor is that. The neighbor is in on it, but so is her husband, the guy that was randomly cutting the fence. He's not quite there. When the door opened, I thought it was going to be the Quicksilver actor that we knew from the Avengers. So when that camera panned around, I just went, "Well, what the fuck?" and I had a smile on my face. I thought, right, really did not see that coming. Okay, WandaVision's getting really interesting now, and it is.
So that Quicksilver, I said I don't recognise that guy.
Watch before the broadcast.
So he didn't even look the same bloke as that clip that you sent me.
Nice, sorry.
Is it?
It's failed.
Yeah. See, he's
I'm trying to play the.
That's what he's trying to do.
Oh, good job! It failed.
Yeah.
So is it that he looked a different guy?
He's the same guy. He's the same actor.
Has he put on a bit of weight in the face or something? Because he didn't look the same.
Older.
Okay.
The Quicksilver that's in the Quicksilver that's in this now is not the Quicksilver from the Avengers movie. It's the Quicksilver from the last three X-Men films. 3 X-Men films.
The long and short of it, Nigel doesn't know. This is leave little Nigel here. All it means is that the Fox characters are going into the Disney Marvel universe. First time we've seen it. Hopefully we'll get, if it's Deadpool at the end, could you imagine that? It's just, you've got WandaVision, and it cuts back from that bit where you can see the TV set, and you've got a pair of feet up on the desk, and it's fucking Deadpool's feet. And he goes, "Oh, that was interesting, wasn't it, guys?" Wink, and then they disappear. That would be quite good. It'd be terrible, actually, but I'd pay to see that.
I think they're going to do Deadpool, but I think Deadpool will be in something a bit. This is almost going a bit serious and dark. And I don't think that. Look, Deadpool turning up anywhere is going to be awesome. I hope they are going to do a Deadpool 3. I really want it. But I'm worried because Disney's gone woke and Deadpool is definitely not woke.
Okay, I wanted to go through a load of things in this. You derailed the whole fucking thing. So let's go. I'm going to tell you the following. All right.
Oi, you! Shut your cake hole.
All right.
Go on, then go through them.
So, first things first, yeah. Monica Rambeau has problems with her X-rays and her blood work. Something's not right there. She's got some kind of powers, okay, from being in the hex field. She also has a bulletproof dress. Okay, she's not got a bulletproof dress, but weird fish pants, how we describe them as, yeah? She's got that. So you've got that there. All right.
Is that how is this how you think she got her powers, or it was the blip?
I think no, it's not a blip. The blip's not how to get powers. Anyway, right. So she's been exposed to some kind of radiation, which because she got kicked out, she's been dosed with a chunk of reality-changing radiation. Okay, the Mind Stone did not give Wanda and Pietro their powers. They already had the powers and they were unlocked. That's what we're going to get from this. Okay, because Wanda's powers are, how can I put it, the Reality Stone's powers, and Pietro's were the Tesseract's powers. Yeah, he was blue, she was red, basically. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah, it's starting to make sense. The director of Sword, yeah, right. He hit her with a missile from that drone. All right. No, before you go, no, that was a perfect thing to do. His reaction was incorrect, though. What he should have done is he should have had the guys with the guards. He should have put a chair down, out, wait for her to come out, yeah, and turn around, goes, you fired a missile at me with your drone because you weren't picking up your calls. That's what his response should have been.
Do you think he's a bad guy?
No, he's not a bad guy. No. Because of the way Disney write things. Okay, here's the next thing. Sword are looking into space travel and stuff. So, someone said on a podcast that I was listening to that if they wanted to introduce the Fantastic Four, they could have them as part of Sword. And when the snap happened, they were up in space. And because a massive dose of CMBR, cosmic background radiation, or whatever it is, hit them, that's what gave them the powers. Yeah. And then after that happened, they stopped all their manned flights. They changed the organization around because things had changed, because all of a sudden those people had been exposed to mad radiation that caused problems that they don't know. They could be in secret, and that's how you get Fantastic Four. All right. So we've got that. And I can't remember the rest because you were going off on one.
Fantastic Four I think that was a red herring this week. I think we're going to get hints of them in this, if not a full-blown cameo. If not a full-blown cameo. Because Kevin Feige's always said they're doing Fantastic Four and that we're getting a Fantastic Four movie. So, I think this is about to give us all of the Fox. I think that this is a backdoor into the whole of the Fox universe. And I think we're going to get Maguire as well. I do think that might happen, which would be really cool.
I think Maguire and that stuff is happening on the on the Spider-Man one. They're doing the multiverse. This is going to be the running theme for this phase of Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's going to be the multiverse. It's all multiverse stuff, with the exception of the Eternals, which they'll look at and they'll go, "Oh, why did we do that? That shit." Anyway. Nigel, do you have any thoughts on this? Because I fucking forgot that you were here because of mouth down there.
I'll mute you in a minute.
Well, do you know what? The longer this program goes on, the better it is getting. The first two were trash. Third one started to get better. Fourth and fifth, they've really moved on. I did like the episode. And I like the fact that Vision is starting to become aware of what's going on, asking questions, and then that's causing a bit of conflict with Wanda to the point where they're facing off against each other. And the kids also growing to like toddlers and then to age 10. Interesting. Whether or not those kids are actually, projections from Wanda's mind, or if they're actually there and she's, growing them. But yes, Vision makes mention that there are no other kids anywhere in this town, and he's wondering why. Yeah, why? surely there were kids in the town when she froze it, sort of thing, when she cut it off from the world. Surely there was. So what's happened to them?
That's a good question. They're probably being kept somewhere safe, I imagine. I imagine there is probably some like eternal playground where they're being kept in a loop to keep them busy so they don't interfere with the children.
There's definitely something with the kids. You're right.
There's something going on there. And, well, obviously. But they focused, you're right, with the woman. When she went in, she was wearing a Kevlar vest. Yeah. And she tested a theory with that by shooting her dress that she was wearing, and turns out that is made of Kevlar. So she not just projected the image on that, she's altered the reality of it.
Yeah.
So it is hinting hugely towards alternate realities / multiverse, right?
Yeah, but it also brings up one other thing of why the hell didn't Wanda just take out Thanos if she's got this kind of power?
No, she wasn't.
I don't.
I'm trying to think back to the
powers that she's got.
She maybe didn't know, for one, quite how powerful she was, but she was fighting him and she was defeating him. She had the better of him in the fight in the film, she got distracted or something came to attack her to stop.
They had to fire the ship batteries.
But that would also imply that Gareth might be right in the fact that the powers were there previously and that actually they are mutants. That might have been
Wanda's a mutant.
Wanda and Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Originally,
I've just googled them.
They changed their Marvel Comics changed their
origin,
their backstory when Marvel Studios started using them in the Avengers because they were Avengers as well as mutants.
Yeah,
but their father is Magneto.
Yes.
Originally. So they are technically mutants and they might be reversing the already and going back to that. And Gareth could be right. And the fact that she didn't know her powers and this might be unlocking her and making her the most powerful Avenger, which she technically is. She's more powerful than bloody Captain Marvel. That's not because she can bend reality, which Captain Marvel can't. And she certainly seems to be doing that here, although I don't think she's in control. And there are several moments.
I think she's been part control. Yeah. I think she's been tricked into doing it, and she thinks she's doing this from her own idea, but someone else gave her the idea, and they're the one who's trying to control the situation. If that makes sense. So she controls what's going on, but this person who's prodding with the stick, pushing her and influence her in a certain direction.
But the question is, who is that?
And we're hoping it's Mephisto because that introduces a massive bad guy, Thanos, an above bad guy. Okay, so let's leave this here. We have a certain person in the chat.
Hello, Dave.
And just a quick one for you, Keith.
Shut it, you muppet.
A word's too much for you? Then you should follow us on Instagram. We put pretty pictures out. Thanks. Right. I've got some other ones I need to do for Facebook and whatnot. Right. The Expanse. Last episode, Nemesis Games, named after the book. And I've got some issues. I have some issues. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but they're missing a lot of stuff out of it. And I've kind of figured out why they have focused a lot on, how can I put it, the polyamorous crew of Drummer's ship. And I don't want to put anything past Drummer seemed like someone who was too busy to have relationships. So all of a sudden she's joined this crew, but they're fucking each other, pardon my language, all the time. That bit bugged the crap out of me. They haven't rescued the Master and Prime Minister, which was a big part of the story.
But do you think that was cut out? Can I ask you a question? Because I've gone back and I'm just going to ask you a question and then see if this, because I know what. Do you think because of what happened with the actor? Because I think I've gone back and I've watched most of it again because I was bored, and I watched most of it again, and I watched the first part of those seasons. So the first 5 or 6 episodes are pretty tight, right? Now, they filmed this back to back, and I know it was about halfway through shooting that this whole Alex thing came out, right? The actor that played him, the whole Me Too crap. And then that latter end of the season feels like they suddenly wrote it and cut Alex out. They just cut him out everywhere they could. They cut him out. So we got 3 fucking episodes of Naomi on that ship, and it was boring, right? And when we got into that final episode, we were getting more of it. It's like, how many fucking times can she go into that room? Seriously.
30, 40, 45 times, I think.
But sorry, I'm asking you, do you think that's what's happened? Because I get that.
Now I've come back and I've watched that last episode. I do think that they have cut a lot out of it. I think that they did cut out the rescuing of the Martian Prime Minister, which is key in it, because the Martian Prime Minister comes to Luna along with Avasarala and I think Anderson Dawes, maybe. But the long and the short of it is the belt thing. I think they may have refilmed Fred Johnson's death, because I think Fred Johnson was on the Rocinante, because in the thingy he gets shot, and because Fred Johnson's hard, he shrugs it off. All right, he shrugs off being shot. But when they pull a high G maneuver because he's got an injury, like the previous guy Lopez in the first series, he strokes out and dies from his injuries while they're pulling a high G maneuver. So I think that those bits were cut out from it because there was a lot of lead up. The Martians start attacking each other. Yeah, the renegade Martians attack the thingy and they do the best to keep bloody quiet. And apparently there's a bit in it which I forgot where Bobby surfs a torpedo to rescue what's her mush, Naomi. I can't remember that, but apparently she attached herself to a torpedo so they could get to the Pella faster to rescue her. I'm going to have to reread the book now just to check that. And then probably just put notes.
I think there was a lot more scenes. You know, when I think Naomi escaping for that ship, I think you watched the whole of The Expanse, and The Expanse has always been about the story and nothing else. And we've never had really dull episodes, but it feels like they were just reusing the whole Naomi thing and Naomi suffering on the ship, and it just focused on Naomi as a whole Me Too thing. And I think, you know, focus on the women. It went woke. It went borderline woke.
Right. I think it goes something like this. I think that when you film a TV series, you tend to get like about 5 minutes worth of decent usable footage for every day that you film. That's why they have multiple units filming in different locations and different actors and stuff. I think that they probably filmed all of that scene with her on the ship, planning to edit most of that out, to shrink it down, to compress it, to make it better. But when they did it again, they went, we can put that stuff still works. We can put that in there, you know, at a twist. And the same with Drummers lot too. And I think they did that too. And then you've got Holden, where Fred Johnson was supposed to be, and they've had to cut all of that out because they've had to pull in all the other actors to redo the scenes. So you haven't had as long to do those bits. So I think Fred Johnson died on the Rocinante, stroking out after being shot by Watsamush.
I think you're right.
He survived, but he had to escape because they were coming for Palace Station, the Free Navy. I think that was the ending there, and I think they've had to rearrange everything around the fact that they kicked out as Canva rather than doing something sensible and saying, look, we need you to come in to do some scenes. Can you be professional about this? We'll be professional about this. Film it, finish it off, and go forward with it. I think that's the case. I'm thinking about it now backwards. That makes sense.
That he was kicked and he didn't, and he wasn't asked to come back. That scene where you see him dead, that was a freeze frame.
That's a frame grab.
And it was. It was bad. And the more you watch those last three or four episodes, the more you realize what they've done. They were in an absolute mess, and they've gone back and they've butchered it. I mean, don't get me, and you know when it's the real Expanse, because there are moments in that final episode that are Expanse. Amos's, I was crying with laughter on the sofa. I loved that scene where, hi boss, how we doing? We're family, right? You know, these days, you know, and he brings up the whole family thing, and he's like, so you won't mind this, Peaches? And the look on Holden's face as she just walks past. Fucking brilliant. That was so good.
In the book,
really love
smugglers
that.
are in a crate, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I think
smugglers
he
are in a
does.
crate, and Alex finds out first. That might explain why they had to refilm that part.
But I liked again everything with Amos perfect this season. I mean,
Yeah.
that was really good. But it feels like they had to go in and they butchered it because they didn't have any other options. This whole thing of Alex dying at the end, it's a reaction, and it doesn't look. If half of what is being reported online is true about what he's done, he's foolish.
Yeah.
And a bit too. You can't behave like that. I know it was outside of work, but you shouldn't behave like that outside of work. And it's come back to bite you in the ass. But I'm angry at you because you ruined the latter half of one of my favorite TV show. And I think it's down to the fact. Look, I don't. Had Amazon not fired him, it would have been. It would, they would have been cancelled by the Twitterati.
Okay. Another thing to note: in the Monica character, who's the reporter, her story wasn't chasing after the proto-molecule. Her story, and I think this is where they did the reshoots. Yeah, her story was saying there's a problem with the gate network, and ships are going missing. Yeah, and we only really got to see that at the end. So I think that's right. All my problems fit into having to reshoot around the fact that Kazanva was kicked off.
I think you're right. I think it is. I'm not sure she was ever intended for that. I don't know if that
she was supposed to do. She's supposed to go.
Yeah, in the book, but I don't know in the TV. I'm not sure.
No, I think she was. I think
because narratively, it kind of makes sense that they brought that in at the end because that was like that's a hook for the 6th season. What the hell's going on there? But you could be right. They could have intended that, but it did feel that bit felt like a hook. And when we saw it, I knew it was coming, but when we saw it, it was cool. But they've got to make it 10 times more fucking graphic for what's his face. Because if we don't see fucking Marcus and Nara suffer badly, I will be very upset. Because he needs to suffer. And that's why he's a great bad guy. Because I fucking hate him.
I do. That poor actor. Bastard.
But I hate him in a good... Oh, no. The actor is a really nice guy. I've watched him interviewed. He's brilliant. I mean... He's a good bad guy because I fucking hate him, but not in an irritating point of view. I fucking hate him, but that's what you're meant to feel, and it does it. And it does it very well.
All right, let's hear it from Nigel before I put my final oar in.
Right. Yeah, I think the Naomi thing was a tad boring. It went on a bit too long. They could have just shown her clip it a little bit, going, oh, she's gone in, she's doing the thing, and then just sort of montage it, just see her going back in, scrape, walk back in, scrape.
Gonna need a montage.
Just if there's anything they need to learn from this, is they should have taken their cues from Team America. Yes. So that whole thing, but then obviously the episode wouldn't have been as long, and they'd have to fill it out with something else. Oh, shock horror. Okay. I like the Amos storyline throughout this whole series because out of all of them, I like him the most, or Timmy, as he is now called. Timmy. So
just quickly before you move on, just to interject because this is perfect. There's a bit where you got Amos and his mate, and Clarissa Mao is talking about faking IDs, and he shoots him a look. Are you good at faking IDs? And he looks at Amos, and it's like, yeah, I am pretty good at faking IDs. Anyway, sorry, Nigel.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that he sort of met up with his brother. That was his brother, wasn't it, with the gammy arm and leg?
It's not real. I don't think it's biological brother, but the brother as in they went through a lot of shit together. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he's my brother, sort of thing. So yeah, I like that. I like that. I like the fact we saw a little bit of Amos, a little bit more to Amos, because he's always just been this man, this rock hard man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite a stoic fella, shall we describe him?
Yeah, and I like the fact that even though he's pretty emotionless, he decided Peaches was the person he was going to save.
Yeah, it's funny because Amos doesn't have a moral compass, so he has to borrow someone else's. So he knows that Holden is his moral compass as the person you need to follow. But it's weird because he seemed to Clarissa turn around and seemed to fill that role of being the moral compass.
Yeah,
which was good because he kind of all of a sudden just clicked. He went, "Oh, she's a good person." Ah, shit. Because he was talking about, I think it was there was a
great scene when they were on the island with the lake around them, where they were trying to get the thing working, the rocket, they're escaping from the private military that was coming in, and she was left by herself next to the ship, and they came in the side door, and they're still on their way in. Next thing you know, they've come in and there's a raft of dead bodies around, and they went, shit. She only had her hands. She killed this many people with her bare hands. Right, I'm going to be nice to her from now on. And it's like, yeah, well, you should have been fucking nice to her and stuff.
They've changed her character a bit. She isn't quite what she was from what I remember to the latter end of this book. She is more of a moral compass for him in this. But I agree with you, Nigel. Every Amos scene and throughout this, not a problem with it. It's always been brilliant.
Yeah,
enjoying Amos.
Do you want his funny? No, they escape on that spaceship. They escape on that spaceship. They land on Luna, and Avasarala greets them and describes their spaceship as a gaudy turd. That's a great line from a book. She's such a great character. Sorry.
Well, she is.
Yeah, I suppose. She's not my. Amos is my favourite. I think
you know what,
the bottom two people.
Hang on. You're allowed to feel that. I understand why you feel like that. This person up here might not understand why I'm bugged out about WandaVision, but I understand why you don't like
it's just her voice.
I love her.
I think it's just her voice. Can't get on with it. But what she does, I like what she does. Now, the only thing that bugged me about this whole episode was the killing of Alex. It was just suddenly a pilot who is used to all of this. Suddenly he's had a stroke out of nowhere. Didn't even see it happen, mate.
Yeah. Do you know what the funny thing is? It remember The Simpsons where they introduced a new character into Itchy and Scratchy, and then they had to get rid of said character from Itchy and Scratchy. Yeah. And then it was literally, they got like a cell from the thingy and they lift it. I've got to go away to my planet now. And they lift it. It was really poorly done. That's what that reminded me of, but with Alex.
Yeah.
You got that single frame thing.
You see, look,
it was just a throwaway comment.
Yeah. And it was bad. It's because they didn't like the actor, so they didn't give him a hero's ending. And I think it's terrible because you owed that to the fans. You could have at least exploded the ship, given him a hero's ending. It's a character, not the actor. It's a character. It's a puppet. It's a character.
They didn't. No. If they exploded the ship, then that means that Naomi and Bobby are dead because there's no way they can get back.
No, yes, they could. They could have got rescued by the Rocinante. Yeah. The Rocinante wasn't far behind them. They could have explained that away. They could have given Alex's character a meaningful death. That a freeze frame of him bleeding out after all that bullshit was crap.
All right, let's move past that because there was the ending, which was all the bits that were missing from the fucking series, with the exception of the Martian Prime Minister, and the surfing a torpedo, right? All those bits that was fucking missing all happened in the last 5 minutes. They did a fucking Game of Thrones on me. All right.
Yeah, but not many people. That was purely for you, though. That was fan pleasing of the book.
That was like
but no one's going to know. Yeah, but no one's going to know what the hell. Nigel, do you know what that was in the clouds?
No.
Right at the end.
Right.
Oh, hang on. I remember them talking about going through the gate, and then there was something in the gate that they're using the protomolecule to kickstart, maybe. And I thought maybe it was they found some machinery, some ships or something up in the clouds by the.
You're not far off. It's shipyards. It makes
a
ships.
proto-molecule shipyard. which they were activating using the protomolecule sample. And but that wasn't the big thing. The big thing was the fact that the fucking aggressive species wiped them out in transit. So that, you know, when you saw them and all of a sudden they dropped the necklace and it froze. Well, in the book, they cut out the fact that they're completely aware of what's going on. Those two characters as they're being taken apart on a molecular level.
Yeah.
And it's a bit.
That's the bit that bugged me. They should have shown that, because then when Marcus Aurelius, Marcus Anaros. I'm joking. Marcus Anaros gets
Aurelius. I've got to finish off his meditations actually.
Marcus an arsehole.
Marcus an arsehole. When he finally bites the dust, it means something because you know what's happening, and you know he's aware. They didn't show that. That's my only criticism of that. It's cool that we know that the aggressive species is there. And, you know, Holden's already said that he sees them a lot. He said that at the beginning of the season, that he sees them every time he goes through. And I fucking love that. But, yeah, my one criticism of that scene was you did not see them getting broken apart. That had to be horrific, and it wasn't.
All right. So we got that. What else do we cover? The Free Navy and the Martians and Laconian.
Oh, now we've lost Gareth.
Oh,
we're losing. All of us are going down.
No, we haven't lost me.
Oh, he's there.
I bet you my son started streaming video on WhatsApp. That's probably what that was. Okay, so let's move on to our last part. No sex toys this week, all right? I've got two stories. So, first one. This one's sent to me by Babster. I didn't put it in last week because we had the lovely lady and her sex toys. And I got another one this week from Keith, which we'll see for next week too. Lip service. Man transforms himself into a black alien by having lips removed after cutting his nose and splitting his tongue. Okay, here we go.
I don't know if I'm aware for this, if I'm ready.
Anthony Lefroy, whatever his name, 32, has also covered himself in tattoos and piercings to make himself look like a real-life alien. Here we go.
What in the fuck? Oh, dear.
Mate.
Why?
This is why this is called the What the Fuck segment. This is definitely what the fuck.
Okay, yeah, but not in the good way. What, why? What? I mean, it looks like he wanted to go do Darth Maul at one point and then changed his...
Yeah.
He's had his eyeballs tattooed, so they're black.
Why was he... Why are people allowed to... No.
Life prospects are high with this one.
If it was Millionaire makes himself look like it, it would be fine. But it's not.
Dude's not going to be doing much more than stacking shelves in the Amazon warehouse, is he, really?
Somewhere at the back.
Yeah.
But yes.
Oh, dear God, no.
My. His tongue's green.
No, I think there's 2 slices of apple.
Oh, okay.
No.
His tongue's green. Shit, no, actually, no.
I thought he tattooed it.
No, you're right, Nige. That is his tongue. Sorry. I saw that as 2 bits of apple, and it's like, no, that's his tongue.
Why would you do that to yourself? Why?
Oh, maybe he's a tattoo artist. He's trying to show off what he can do.
That doesn't show off. No. What do you call it? Right. Okay. So that was bad. So
have you got a more uplifting one, please?
I have a more uplifting one. This is
I know what's coming. I've seen this. This is brilliant.
This is a great one.
I was trying to watch a little bit of this.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm sorry. I'm going to just stop sharing this for a second because I need to make sure I've got the audio on before it even starts, because that's not a mistake I want to make twice. So foul-tempered, occasionally sweary parish council meeting becomes internet hit. Hands for Parish Council and participant Jackie Weaver were trending as footage from the call was retweeted by thousands. So you have no authority. Right? Okay, so hopefully you should be able to hear this, he says. Oh, right. While this advert's playing in the background, because of sodding Sky. So yes, Sky, you get an advert free from us. Bloody, I forgot this. I was supposed to put a note on the thingy because when I watched it the first time, an advert popped up and I was like, Christ, I can't have an advert for this one.
I get the same.
Meeting, and I want to repeat what I said at the beginning of the last meeting, that this meeting has not been called according to the law. The law has been broken.
It has been properly
Will you
called.
please let the chairman...
Mrs. Weaver, please.
If you disrupt this meeting, I will have to remove you from it.
You can't.
It's only the chairman who can remove people from a meeting. You have no authority here, Jackie
Doesn't know
Weaver.
how Zoom
No
works.
authority at all.
She's just kicked him out.
Sorry.
No, she's kicked him out. Don't. She's kicked him out. Don't.
This is a meeting called by 2 councillors.
Illegally?
You may now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing order. Read them and understand them. Read them and understand them.
On the bright side, they are very passionate about what they do, which means they care. On the downside is that's not the way to conduct yourself. And also not understanding how a Zoom call works. You can't kick me out. I've got the Zoom button. Gone.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. It's a handful of parish council. It's they got tons of retweets and everything. Yeah, and I think there might be a bit more.
Who leaked it?
I don't know who leaked it. There must have been another person on that.
No, I think there's when they do them, you have to record your council meetings, and then they get uploaded to somewhere like on the council website or whatever. I think when you have a normal meeting, it's projected live into the council website or something, and people can watch it if they so feel.
I think I don't know about this. I know that our parliament is recorded for the delight because they have some fucking great rows in parliament. It's so much better than watching the American Senate. The American Senate is really boring. Watch the British Parliament. They lay into each other. When
some of them called the right honourable gentleman, you know what he's really saying.
It's weird. This is the weird rules with Parliament. You're not allowed to address the other side. You have to go through the speaker. That's why they have the speaker, and it's really funny because if you elect a new speaker to the House, apparently the first time they did it, the person didn't want to do it, so they had to drag them up to the seat. So from now on, if you watch, whenever they get a new speaker, they all pretend to fight being pulled up to the seat. It's the same thing with when they form a new parliament. The Queen comes down and she sends her.
They slam the door in her face.
Well, yeah, has to bang on the door 3 times, and it's weird tradition, but it's kind of nice. And seeing parish councils, kind of, how can I put it, involve themselves in the way Parliament conducts themselves, I think is great. I love it. It makes things a bit more interesting, and I'll be honest with you. I think it's what do you call it? It's good all round. Anyway, on that note, I think it's time that we all said ta-ta. Nige.
Well, thank you very much for watching. And if you have liked this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that little like button too. It really does help. And come and follow us on Instagram too. We do put out some pictures. I'll see you next week.
On Twitter. He's not allowed out of the closet until he's got at least 5,000 followers.
I remember it used to be 100, then it was 1,000, and he hit 1,000, and you're like, I don't know what to say.
He's ginger. We never let him out the closet.
Good job you're in Thailand, mate. I can just walk out.
Ta-ta!
And on that note, it's bye from me, and we will see you in the next podcast. just a quick one, Keith. In WandaVision, when they're in the street, yeah, there is a naked blonde lady running around the background with massive norks. Did you see it?